Restaurant down here in JOMTIEN Beach. Glad to have you guys along for the ride. And don't forget, we're broadcasting live on 95 FM The Spot. We're broadcasting live on BKK.FM, and we are broadcasting live on YouTube.com/@TheSpot Thailand. And what I'm going to do is I am going to talk to you guys for about the next hour or so. It's currently 8 a.m. here in JOMTIEN in Party City. My name is Mike's from LiveMyAssOff.com. Oh, sure, my voice may sound like Johnny Cupcakes, but is that actually what's going on? So what we're going to do is we're going to just basically talk to you guys for about an hour, and then guess what? What you're going to want to do, if you're in town, which of course you should be because it's high season here in JOMTIEN, you're going to want to be down in JOMTIEN Beach, basically South JOMTIEN Beach is what we talk to it. It's 1669 Restaurant, and right now I'm getting a wonderful Diet Coke. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate it. Hold on one moment. Great. Thank you. Thank you, Tom. So the folks here at 1669 have been hosting the Spot, doing a morning show on Saturday mornings traditionally, which has been totally awesome. But if you're driving around Pattaya right now, in about an hour, what I would love for you guys to do is come down to 1669 Restaurant while I have my Coke Zero and check out a very, very cool guy in town. I'm sure you guys know him by Ride for Kicks. His name is Lucas, and he's having a meetup down here at 1669 Restaurant on the second floor. Super easy to get to. And plenty of parking out front. There's a 7-Eleven right next door, so it's easy to find. But, of course, that's like saying, yeah, there's a 7-Eleven in Thailand that I thought I'd go to. So let me just check a few things here as we do go live, which means a lot of mistakes can get made. But anyway, my name is Mike's, and I'm one of the owners here at 95 FM The Spot, and we're grateful to be into town. I do want to thank Thailand, actually, our host country, for being incredibly gracious and incredibly awesome for allowing us to play what I believe is actually really, really cool music for you guys. But in any case, what we've got to do is basically just talk to you guys a little bit this morning. So a lot of you guys know me from my other channel, which is Live My Ass Off. And I want to say hello to Chris from across the planet. Now, here's the greatest thing about Chris from across the planet. Jason, thank you so much for coming by. Appreciate it. Jason's over on Facebook. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook.com/The Spot Thailand or Facebook.com/groups/thespot.fm. But the neat thing is that basically the reason I'm here is because my buddy Lucas, who you guys know from the Ride for Kicks YouTube channel, he's going to be here at about 9 o'clock. And at 9 o'clock, he's going to be basically having a meetup. There's going to be a 2-hour meetup down here. So let me just check and make sure that I'm on a bunch of channels. I can see Steve, thank you so much for coming by. Steve's over on Facebook, probably on my actual Facebook channel, so that's really cool. I appreciate it, man. The other thing I want to let you guys know, and speaking of Chris from across the planet, on the Spot, on BKK.FM, on Bangkok.FM, which is our new property up in Bangkok, streaming epic dance music, just ask me. Oh, you know what? So when this went live, did it go live with the thumbnail from the previous one? Oh, I hope not. That would be really frustrating. But I'm hoping I'm on Live My Ass Off as well as The Spot Thailand, and hopefully you guys are like tuning in no matter where you are. And yeah, it looks like I'm over there on Live My Ass Off, so that's really cool. Which channel are you watching on, Chris? And The Spot Thailand. There we go. I want to turn off a few things and I want to turn on a few things, and I don't want to spill my Coke Zero on my lap. If you guys have ever been to Pattaya, you actually may or may not have been down to JOMTIEN. When I first started coming to Pattaya, I never went down to JOMTIEN because it was like so far away. I never went to Third Road because it was like so far away. And then you end up living here, and you're like, oh my God, like there's so much more to Pattaya than, well, soy six and soy bacao, right? Joey Schwartz from Hingham, Massachusetts, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, cool. So Lucas is here. Hey, so I talked to Tamir. Yeah, it's cool, right? Pretty good. And he's said just like basically around 8:30 or something, just be like 2 urns of coffee. So, all right. So if you guys are wondering who I'm talking to the guy who's the absolute rock star from Ride for Kicks. I've always had a question, Lucas. Why is it a Z and not Kicks with an S? I can't believe Ride for Kicks was taken. You want to come around?
I think it was.
You want to come around? Who the hell is this guy? All right, hold on. I actually didn't plan on you being here this early, so this is like really cool.
I'm going to get a parking space right out front.
Oh, that's good. Awesome. Cool. Oh, wait. See, I've got all this cabling. There wasn't any traffic, right? I mean, I know that Beach Road is completely packed.
Like a normal Saturday.
Just a regular Saturday? Okay, cool.
Plenty going on.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Awesome. All right, so hold on. Let me move this over so we can see you as well.
There you go.
There you go. All right, cool. So this is my buddy Lucas, and obviously you guys know him a lot more than you know me. Because Ride for KICKZ. What are you doing? 75,000 subs now, right?
Not quite that, but almost. But they're tuned into the radio, man. They're radio guys.
I hope so.
They're radio people. They're here to see you.
Well, that's why I'm in radio, because they don't want to see me. It's just more of a hearing thing. So talk to me a little bit about why we're having this, because I mean your channel's been around for 3 years.
So in short,
over that.
In short, every day.
Right.
I got people messaging me.
Yeah.
And this is the busy. I think this is the busiest week in Pattaya.
Yes.
I mean, you could make an argument.
It's Songkran, yeah.
But between Christmas and New Year's, a lot of people have vacation. A lot of people come, and they're like, hey, I'm in town. About if we meet up and have a cup of coffee or something. And I just don't have time for all of I mean,
right.
I've done that before, especially low season. I try to make time.
Sure.
Because it's like one a week instead of one a day. But I thought, you know what? It's the busiest week of the year. We'll have something. I liked this place when I was here the last time.
Right.
And I said, you can see the beach. If people want to come by and say hi, give them something to do while they're in town, then we'll do this. It's almost the end of the year, kind of. So I made it into a Viewer Appreciation Day. You like that?
Very cool. Very
like that?
I do like that. Now, you mentioned to me that there's going to be a guest speaker, which is, we're not going to broadcast that, but because once 9 o'clock shows up, I'm going to shut this off because it's your show. But so he's going to be talking. Is he another YouTube buddy of yours?
No, I don't. He might do YouTube, but I don't know.
Okay.
So a mutual friend, there's a guy that owns a restaurant out by the lake.
Oh, okay.
And he says he's got a friend from Australia that is going to set some kind of world record motorcycle jump. I'm like, well, how cool is that?
So Evel Knievel kind of thing.
Yeah, that kind of thing, right? You don't see that so much anymore.
Well, no, not after we started using the phrase "jump the shark," that basically indicated that Fonzie was over at that point. But maybe you guys don't know what I'm talking about. But
that's where that comes from.
Yeah.
And they milked that episode. They have like 2 or 3 parts.
You know?
But anyway, I just thought that was cool.
Okay, so locally,
I'm not sure. He's here locally.
All right.
I'm not sure if he's actually doing it here or doing it in Australia. I'm not sure. We'll find out.
Okay, fair enough, yeah.
But if it's here, how cool would that be?
No, that would be huge. So if you guys are wondering what will happen, so at 9 o'clock we'll go back to the spot music, but if you want to, please do, if you're in town, come down to 1669 restaurant. Soy 19, JOMTIEN.
I thought it was 16.
Okay, I'll believe you.
Well, the sign says 16 in the
Does it? Okay, good. So we'll go with that.
The big market, where it says the big market soy 16. Yes. That's what I went by.
So if you guys know where the big market is, I would call this South JOMTIEN Beach.
It's technically, very south.
Almost.
JOMTIEN, almost not JOMTIEN.
Not JOMTIEN, which is 19. That's what 19 is.
Right.
Got it. Okay,
It's not quite 19 yet, but it's getting down. You got to come pretty far.
Yeah. So anyway, from 9 a.m. till about 11.
Right.
Coffee and donuts.
Yeah, man. Donuts.
Hang out.
Be here at 9.
Yeah.
I got like 10 dozen donuts, man.
Awesome. That's great. Do you ever hear the joke about the guy who holds 2 cups of coffee and a dozen donuts walking around naked?
No.
Okay, well, I'll tell it to you later.
Okay.
2 cups of coffee, dozen donuts.
It wasn't going radio friendly.
It wasn't. Yeah, that was definitely not a family feud.
With the donut hole and the naked.
Yeah, no, it's Crullers. That's why he's just so incredibly talented. It's like, how does he do that? All right. Well, anyway, cool. So I'm just going to talk to the guys for about an hour and let them know that you're here and that we'll be here at 9.
Awesome, man.
Thank you, my friend. Always great seeing you.
Thanks for setting all this up. I mean, Mike was instrumental in this. So.
No.
I love this. I love this little venue. It's beautiful. Look at. And I'm glad you changed your.
It was. You want to know the main reason?
What?
Internet. The Wi-Fi over there doesn't work, and I could plug in over here. So I'm like, this is going to look like crap. But actually, with the banner, it's not too bad.
Looks awesome, man.
Looks like I'm actually knowing what I'm doing, for God's sake. All right, well, really cool.
All right, Mike. Thanks.
Thank you,
Cheers.
dude. Right on. Appreciate it. Very cool. So the other thing, too, is that if you guys are always sort of curious where the spot is going to be out and about, there's a place that I will plug him once again, because I just think he's just really cool. Lucas on Ride for KICKZ, he did a couple of videos that actually I'll throw the link into up here. From this place called, I'm just going to call it The Gems. And the easiest way to find it is to go to thegemspattaya.com. And it's a pool resort And the reason that the spot is going to be there regularly, basically doing what I'm doing right now, which is broadcasting, talking to people, is that unfortunately, a lot of ways people find out about stuff over here is by word of mouth. And so, as a guy in media, I'm like, well, it's kind of my job to tell you guys like about cool stuff that's happening, right? So, basically, we're going to be over this place. It's called the Gems Mining Pool Villa Pattaya, and that is a place that I'm going to probably be broadcasting from Sunday mornings from 10 a.m. to noon Bangkok time. And we're going to be doing that to basically bring some awareness to the place, to bring some energy to the place, and show you guys around and that sort of thing. But if you want to go to Ride for Kicks, then just type in the Gems in the search, and you'll probably find at least 2 videos that Lucas and I believe his girlfriend did when they were over there. So that's kind of cool. It's better to be on YouTube. Well, I don't know. I mean, I am kind of a radio guy, but thank you. Thank you, Jason. Always good to see you, man. My buddy Julie from Pembroke, Mass. Thank you so much for coming by. Hopefully you're having an amazing holiday. I love your posts on Facebook. I really appreciate it. Antarctica, how you doing, man? You're here. Let's see. So you're going to be back. I want to say like January 15th. Is that about right? But yeah, so Eat Out Pattaya, thank you for watching. And thank you for watching on YouTube, because I know internet on the ship where he is. He's like basically touring the world on a ship. Good morning, Kitty. Good to see you. Sawadee krap. Hopefully you and Robbie will be here. We don't start till about 9 o'clock, but I'm just basically blabbering for about the next hour or so. Just to let the folks in town know, as well as if you are in Bangkok. As we know, it's less than a 2-hour drive from Bangkok down to Pattaya. And because of that, it's actually very easy for you guys to get to the Gems Pattaya, which is on the scroll there. The GemsPattaya.com. Epic 5-star resort. The GM, his name is Rob, and he's a wonderful guy, and he totally gets it. Let me clarify for you what I mean when he totally gets it. You guys go into a hotel, and a lot of times around here, like if it's a 3.5 star, maybe even 4, there's a fridge. And there's a fridge and there's a kettle. That's sort of the standard thing here in Southeast Asia, and it's awesome. To the point where when I go to like a 5-star resort in the United States, and they don't have a fridge and they don't have a kettle, I'm like, you guys, this is like Bush League. There's no way I'm paying this $100, or actually more like $400 a night. But anyway, so here in Asia, my experience has been that basically even the cheapest hotels will at least have a small fridge, and will have a kettle, right, to like boil water for coffee and tea and that sort of thing. Okay, so you go into a 5-star resort, and a lot of times they will either have one of those fridges that has like the electronic sensors, so if you even like move a Diet Coke like out of the way, then it charges you for it. But that's, you know, usually 5 and actually like 5.5 star, way too sophisticated. Usually they have more than enough staff to be able to go to the fridge and check it out. So, but why I say he gets it, and why I believe that the Gems is a place for you guys to absolutely check out, and just go to thegемspattaya.com. You can also find them on Agoda, of course. Just the Gems Mining. It's sort of an odd name, but the way that sort of I'm going to promote it to make it easy for you guys and easy for me to remember is just go thegemspattaya.com. So anyway, they have basically pool villas, and they're amazing. And a bunch of me and a couple of my buddies were there last night. We were also talking to the general manager. We were sitting out by the pool. They have a DJ that's there, Kun Ann. She's like totally cool. And so anyway, so the point is that you go into the room and you open the fridge, and there's, you know, and there's Coke Zero, and there's Coke, and there's Sprite, and there's all this other stuff, and it's all free. And he gets it, right? Because it's like, dude, seriously, I just paid X amount of 1,000 baht. And at the end of the day, it's basically anywhere from about $200 to probably almost 1,000 for these per night for these pool villas. And you might say, oh my God, that's so much money. Okay, well, the pool villa, first of all, the smallest room they have is 90 square meters. And I would submit to you that a lot of you guys listening to this or watching this, your condo here in Pattaya is well under 90 square meters. I'm sure there's a bunch of you that have, you know, 5-bedroom homes. But I will tell you that the beauty of this place is the smallest room they have is 90 square meters. Additionally, these ones that are like $400, $500, $600, $700, and obviously the room rate depends upon the time of year. That's pretty standard. But they're like 3 bedrooms, and they're like 250 square meters, and they have a pool, and there's a pool inside, and then from the pool inside, you swim to the pool outside. There's even these ones that are called the ruby rooms, and then they have emerald rooms and topaz rooms. But the emerald rooms, that's like they have this this sort of river, the community pool, if you will. But it's one of those sort of experiences, like if you've ever been to Disney World or whatever, or you've been to one of those resorts that have like a river, you know, and you like get in and you like sort of float around. It's very similar to that there. But it's very, very comfortable, and actually it's fairly easy to get to. It's just not one of those places that you're like, oh, I'll take a bot bus over there. But I can guarantee you can get a Bolt over there, and more importantly, you can get a Bolt back to where you are. Because a lot of times, like I've taken Bolts before, like way south to go to like land transport, and then I get there, a guy drops me off, and then I try and grab one, and it's like the nearest Bolt is probably like, 9 miles away, and he's like, it's going to be an additional 100 baht, Anyway, so the Gems Pattaya. Check them out online, and also check out Gems Mining. Search for Gems Mining on Agoda, and you'll be able to find a really, really cool spot. And if nothing else, you don't have to stay there. You can go there. You can have a great lunch. You can have a great breakfast, actually. You can hang out at the pool. They actually have a spa that is so nice that you can get a annual membership to this thing. And you can use the gym, and you can use that sort of thing. The pool is not really designed for laps. It's more of just like kind of hanging out. So from a working out perspective, that's not something that you would do there. But in any case, so I'm down here at 1669, having a cool and refreshing beverage, as I always should. And thank you guys for actually tuning in. I really appreciate that. As you know, my ego is fragile, and so therefore it's often very difficult for me to be able to fit my head through the door. No, I'm kidding. So let me do just a couple of things over here. And if you guys have any questions, that's another reason why I started doing live streams a way long time ago, was, of course, because it was COVID. And you guys were like, dude, like, how do we get over there? We don't even know what's going on. What's the status? When can we get over there? When are they going to let tourists in? What kind of visa do I need? That sort of thing. So feel free to throw those comments into the chat, because it's always good to interface with you guys. Now, if you don't know, indeed, you're probably watching on YouTube or Facebook, which I really appreciate. Know that we're also broadcasting live on 95 FM. There's a radio station attached to the spot. Yes, indeed, there is an FM radio station. So if you're in a car, Bolt, a Grab, or a Maxim, which is sort of the new ride share thing here in Pattaya, then it's pretty cool, because I've even gotten reports. A lot of you guys have actually sent me messages. Thank you very much. Again, my ego appreciates it big time. Hey, the Bolt driver is listening to the spot. The Bolt driver's got 95 FM on. My Grab driver, he's like tuning into the spot, And the cool thing is, you may say, well, that's like kind of old, that sort of thing. But at the end of the day, like every single car has an FM radio, right? Of course, the brand new ones, or not even the brand new ones, the newer ones, and sometimes the old retrofitted ones, they're going to have a tablet in the dash. And basically, it's just like having a phone with all of the apps, for Google and that sort of thing. But I do really appreciate the fact that it seems like there's some traction that we're getting for the station. I mean, obviously, I'm a little selfishly, I think the format's great, and I love listening to it and that sort of thing. But, it's not the only radio station in town, obviously. And if you like Thai dance music, then we're not the solution for you. But what I've been thinking we would be able to do is hopefully get out into the community. And this is one of the ways that we do that. And so that's why I'm down here at 1669. In South JOMTIEN, Soy 16 JOMTIEN. So that's super easy to get to. But the nice thing is that all you got to do, like if you're taking a Bolt or you're taking a Grab down here, then 1669, enter, and it'll basically tell you where it is. Additionally, there's a place downstairs called Rescue Coffee. And that's a pretty cool little coffee shop. And then, of course, 1669 is the restaurant. And up here, they basically just have an event space that we've been able to use many times, actually. So that's been really cool. Ooh. But more importantly, pretty much what I'm doing this morning is I'm just trying to let you guys know that we're down here at 1669, and at 9 a.m., I'll stop talking, and we'll just be playing music on the spot. But more importantly, we're having a viewer appreciation party for the YouTube channel Ride for Kicks. Lucas and his girlfriend are here now, too. It's just like totally awesome. He's brought some water. Sawadee krap. How are you? It's good to see you. And so there'll be coffee and donuts, which will be really kind of neat. I'm actually very curious where he bought donuts. I recently, if any of you are like still in town, then please let me know in the chat, because I have a question about a bakery that I just found that I think is really awesome, but you might be like, oh, Mike, you think that place is good? No. You got to check this other place out. My head still fits through your 60-inch. I assume you mean TV. Oh, Mike, you're so 12 years old. Congratulations. Yeah. Chris, that's good to hear, man. Thank you very much. How's the audio, by the way? Because as you know, I actually went from $8 microphone into $100 mixer to $1,000 microphone into $800 mixer. And there's a part of me that really hopes it sounds better. That's the financial part of me, actually. And so, yeah, but here's the cool thing about Chris. And Chris, if you're in the mood and you want to like come on the channel, like right now, I can totally, send you the link and you can we can connect that way. But for all of you guys watching, no matter where you're watching, actually, no matter where you're watching right now, starting New Year's Eve at 5:30 p.m. Thailand time, which is 8:30 p.m. Melbourne time, which is basically where Chris is from. He and I are going to be going live. Why at that time? Because that is at 11:30 p.m. in Auckland. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do a 24-hour live stream, and we're going to basically celebrate New Year's Eve in every single time zone. The first time zone that we start that with is UTC plus 13. As I was doing some research for this broadcast that we're going to be doing, I learned that UTC plus 13 is a time zone that only exists, there's only property, basically land, that is in that time zone in the southern hemisphere. But the cool thing is, of course, Chris is in the southern hemisphere. Yes, I'm in the northern hemisphere. I'm at latitude, I think I'm at a latitude about 12, possibly 11. I can't remember. Let me just say this. It's hot. And I couldn't be happier. But anyway, yeah, so basically that means we're going to start the broadcast at 11:30 p.m. Auckland time. And then half an hour in, we're going to be celebrating New Year's Eve for them as basically sort of the first place on the planet that becomes 2024. And then every single hour at midnight, we're going to be celebrating New Year's Eve in that local time zone. We considered doing, the 30s because, of course, there are some time zones that are like an hour or rather 30 minutes. I think there's a couple of those in India. I'm not sure of the other locations, but I know that there are time zones that, in fact, are 30 minutes off the next time zone. But we're not going to bother doing that. So we're going to basically do every time it's midnight in a time zone all the way across the world. Thank you for that report. I'm glad I'm good. And hello, well-rounded. What's happening, Joe? Good to see you, buddy. Oh. So Joe's on the East Coast. Joe's in Florida. And so to give you guys just sort of a kind of a reference point, 5:30 p.m. that we start here in Thailand is 5:30 a.m. on the East Coast in the United States. So it's 2:30 a.m. on the West Coast. So I'm very confident on New Year's Day, none of you in the United States will be watching Chris when we start. But the cool thing is, basically 3 hours into the broadcast, we'll be celebrating New Year's Eve in Melbourne, Australia. And then I believe that there's another time zone. So answer me this, Chris. Answer me that, Batman. Answer me this, Chris. Your time zone, is it the same as Sydney, or is Sydney actually an hour later? So that'll be like the second sort of 2024 celebration we do for Australia. I can't remember how it goes. We have like a whole list, and then we're going to have graphics for you guys, to kind of tell you, when we're going to be there. In each time zone. You'll be there. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. Really, at 5:30 in the morning? You're gonna last 24 hours? That's been sort of the thing. I honestly don't know if I can do a 24-hour live stream. I can very easily do a 24-minute live stream and talk nonstop, as I'm sure a lot of you have noticed, because the reason I say that is because we just turned over 24 minutes into the broadcast here on a beautiful Saturday morning, actually, in JOMTIEN Beach. If you guys are in town and you're listening at 95 FM The Spot, or you're potentially up in Bangkok, or you're listening in the app and you're listening to BKK.FM, or you're listening to our news station, which is Bangkok.FM, well then, hello. How are you? My name is Mike's, and I'm glad you guys are along for the ride. And the main reason I'm here right now at about 8:30 on a Saturday morning January 30th, is to let you guys know that there will be a viewer appreciation party here at 1669 Restaurant, South JOMTIEN Beach, right next to the Big Market, right next to Rescue Coffee, starting at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., coffee and donuts, ladies and gentlemen. So sugar, fat, and caffeine. Oh, my God. Welcome to the Breakfast of Champions here at the Spot Media Group. But, yeah, and it's all put on by the YouTube channel Ride for Kicks and Lucas. And so that's going to be really, really cool. And, okay. Oh, thank you, Joe. I appreciate you guys coming by. For you guys that aren't watching online, what happens in YouTube and Facebook and that sort of thing is that the reason we broadcast to a couple of different places, not the least of which is youtube.com/@livemyassoff, at the Spot Thailand, and then also on a couple of Facebook channels, my Facebook channel, just to kind of get the word out there. But also our Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/thespot.fm. Why is that important? Well, let me tell you. The spot.fm is our website, and the cool thing about going there, no matter what device you're on, whether it's a desktop or more importantly a mobile device, when you go there, there's going to be 3 icons at the top. One of them is the line, our official line account, which is @thespot. But more importantly, the first 2 buttons are basically how you install the app if you're on an iPhone or you're on an Android. And so I'd really love for you to be able to do that, because not only does it give you the ability to, with one button, listen to 95 FM The Spot and the awesome Spot music that we play on there, Just Ask Me, but more importantly, if you like rock, it allows you to listen to BKK.FM, and if you really like high energy, pretty intense, positive dance music, then that's our new property. So that's Bangkok.FM. Feel free to go to that website. The website's not completely finished yet. It's more of like a splash page, like, hey guys, guess what's coming New Year's Eve in Bangkok? But nonetheless, I really appreciate you guys listening. So that's going to be really cool. And QLD, what is that? Queensland or something like that? Hour difference between Melbourne and Sydney, no stability. Yeah, I still don't get the whole daylight savings time. I mean, I know that they've changed the time when it occurs, and I guess it's no longer relative to the time when, like, farmers needed the most daylight. As far as I know, based on my ignorance, that's when, that's the reasoning behind daylight savings time, because later in the year, the farmers needed more. I don't even know if that's the case. But regardless, I would agree with Chris's assessment that basically daylight saving time is ridiculous. But nonetheless, yeah, so basically, at about 8:30 p.m. Thailand time, we'll be celebrating New Year's Eve in Melbourne, Australia, and then about 9:30 p.m. here in the Land of Smiles, we'll be celebrating the change into 2024 for Sydney, and of course a bunch of others. And that's the good thing about having Chris on for the broadcast. Is that when I need to take a sip of Coke Zero to stay awake for 24 hours, actually it's going to be at least 24 and a half hours, because we're starting a half hour before midnight in Auckland. But is that we'll be able to talk about other cities. So obviously there's more than Sydney that's in, I guess, UTC +9. Is that right, Chris? If you guys don't know, Thailand, the Land of Smiles, along with many other countries over here, is in UTC +7. And but we're literally on the other side of the world from the East Coast of the United States. So, for example, Florida, Boston, New York, all that. East Coast in the United States is 12 hours behind us. So we're from the future, so we'll be able to tell the entire East Coast of the United States what the hell 2024 is going to be like after we experience it for a full half day before they show up. So, and that's always kind of fun. Chris and I did this 2 years ago, and we had a really good time with it. We didn't do it last year because I had family in town. Good to know. Yeah, so thank you. So Robert Mack Media, he's going to be another YouTuber that's going to be hanging out here. Robert Mack in Asia, if you remember his previous sort of name to his channel. But yeah, again, the reason that I'm here and broadcasting live on 95 FM The Spot, as well as BKK.FM and Bangkok.FM, but also our YouTube channel, The Spot Thailand, and YouTube channel Live My Ass Off, as well as a couple of Facebook groups. My personal Facebook group, the Facebook page for The Spot, and obviously you can listen to us too on our website, thespot.fm. The reason I'm here is because I'm at 1669, the restaurant on this, and it's actually an event space on the second floor here at 1669 Restaurant, South JOMTIEN Beach, Soy 16, right next to the Big Market. Ride for Kicks, the YouTube channel Ride for Kicks, is having a viewer appreciation party, basically a meetup at 9 a.m. from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. here in JOMTIEN Beach. Free coffee and donuts. So no need to get amped up and no need to... You can totally break that diet because, of course, everybody goes on a diet on January 1st, and then on January 3rd, then the donuts really sell because people are so committed to it. But anyway, so in general, happy Saturday all over your body, my friends, and I hope if you guys are in town, you can make it down here to 1669. And thanks for listening on Bangkok.fm, Joe. I don't know if that's sort of your style of music. I think you're more of a BKK.fm guy. But I appreciate it. It's a new station that I started up actually on Christmas Day, simply because I don't really, I definitely don't celebrate Christmas ever. But when I'm by myself and my wife and my daughter are in the Philippines, the 25th, all it is the day where there's so no traffic. And it's awesome, you know. And in the United States, what I would do, interestingly enough, with my Jewish friends, is we would all go to the movies. It was like, for some reason, me and like all my Jewish friends, we would go see movies on the 25th of December. But in any case, so that's basically when that went live, Bangkok.fm. So check that out. But more importantly, if you go to the spot.fm, then basically you can download our app, and it's one of the 3 stations we have in there. And so thank you for listening to all of that, dude. That's like way cool. It was to stop your curtains fading. Is that the reason? I was actually... If you guys are probably listening online, what I'm referring to actually are comments that show up in the chat for YouTube and Facebook and that sort of thing. So it might not have as much relevance if you're listening in your dash. You might be like, what's going on there? But I also want to say a big thank you to Joe and Chris and Steve and Kitty and Robert and all of you guys that have come by. Asia Unscripted, Jason, of course. Julie from Pembroke, Mass. I don't know if you're still listening/watching, but she and I, she is the relative of a very close friend of mine. She's literally the girl next door. She was the girl that grew up next door to me. Melissa, or of course, because I've known her for so long, I still get to call her Missy. And she was just... So anyway, I shouldn't do that, actually. I should turn off. It's kind of like, you know, you're at dinner with your mom and your phone goes off and then you're like, oh yeah, mom. Oh yeah. You start. So I apologize. I'm not ignoring you guys. I promise. So anyway, but yeah, thank you guys for coming by. And again, I'm only here for about another 20 minutes doing this blabber, but the more important thing is if you're listening online or if you're listening on the radio at 95 FM here in Pattaya, or you're on the YouTube channel or the Facebook channel or something like that, and you're looking for something really awesome to do, and you're in the mood for caffeine, and you're in the mood for donuts because you're a normal person, then I would love for you guys to come down to 1669 and say hello to Ride for Kicks, say hello to Lucas, and have some coffee and donuts. The reason we're down here is to do exactly what he said, is to have a viewer appreciation party. The guy's got 75,000 subs, and, you know, selfishly, I also need to say thank to him big time because he did like almost a mini documentary about the spot. And the way that he sort of summarized it, which I really appreciated, was, hey, so like, is radio dead? Is media dead in Pattaya? And of course, my answer is, oh no. Otherwise, how the hell can I justify buying a radio station in 2023, right? One could argue it's such an antiquated medium, but you know, the people that give me a hard time, I say, hey, look, here's the good news. I didn't buy a newspaper, you know? But anyway, we bought this because it is additional medium. It allows us to basically give information and get inside of your ears and your head and hopefully your heart and add some information and fun to your life via radio. And I've been doing that since I was 14. And so that means I've been doing it longer than 10 years. These wrinkles show up, and this loss of hair is because I don't care if you guys know how old I am. The reality is that I've been in radio for over 40 years, and you can tell because I have the radio face, right? But I love it. I mean, it's just one of those things. Like, you meet some nurses, right? And they're like, oh my God, I don't make enough money. The hours are long. But I love it. I do it. I love healing people, you know, whatever. There are other people that do a job like they're pilots. Guys who are pilots love flying. If you know anything about basically commercial air travel, you know that about 15 minutes of the entire flight, they do something. And yes, they're on the radio, of course. But at the end of the day, the computer is basically flying the thing. And but it's important to have a human there. So fear not, all of you that think AI is taking over the world. But anyway, so Lucas did this really cool video, and I'll actually put that in the notes later on Ride for Kicks. And so it was great because I think it got to show the fact that, yeah, I mean, I like music and I got a cool shirt and we have bumper stickers and banners and that sort of thing. But also, we're bringing sort of radio. We're bringing U.S. flavor of radio here to Thailand, to Pattaya, to JOMTIEN, to Bang Sien, to Bang Lamun, to Bang Sarai. Because that's what I know how to do. And radio here really never matured to that level. And I don't mean that in a bad way. They just did radio differently here. In the United States, of course, it's ridiculously capitalistic, right? So it's a very commercialized sort of offering, right? So anyway, it allows us to, okay, so I want to do this. I want to say a big hello to Rob. Thank you, Rob, for coming by the broadcast. I appreciate it. The reason Rob is really cool for a number of reasons. One is that he likes me. And the great thing about the relationship I have with Rob is we both like me. So that's like a long-term relationship. So that's going to be great. But Rob, as you might see in the crawl below in the video, he's the guy who has the honor and privilege, as far as I'm concerned, of running the Gems. And so if you go to thegемspattaya.com, if you guys check that out below, go to thegemspattaya.com. It's the easiest way to remember it, which is just call it the Gems. All the cool kids, all the people at the cool kids table call the Gems mining the Gems Pattaya. It's an awesome resort. I mean, it's ridiculously awesome, actually. If you're looking for, they have pictures on the website or whatever, but if you're looking for a video that's been done on the place by, someone who is probably one of your peers, well, once again, Ride for Kicks. Check out that YouTube channel, Lucas on Ride for Kicks. He's done 2 videos on the Gems Pattaya and has stayed there to be able to do these videos. But, so thanks for coming by, Rob. You're awesome, and I hope you're well. And yes, Joe, I am. In fact, Joe just commented and said that I'm 27. I think mentally I'm probably about 17. Maybe emotionally I'm 18, but... But anyway, the Gems Pattaya is a really cool place. And again, basically a great place to find out a video and find out more information about this and what it's like to stay there and what the food's like and what the pool's like. Go to Ride for Kicks on YouTube. And again, starting in about 15 minutes down here at 1669 Restaurant in South JOMTIEN, Soy 1669 Restaurant, right next to the big market. They're having a viewer appreciation party for the Ride for Kicks YouTube channel. Free coffee and donuts. That's showing up about 9 o'clock. So anytime you guys show up about 9, if for nothing else, even if you don't come for like the free coffee and the free donuts, the view here is awesome. You know how like you go to like the rooftop places or second, maybe third story restaurants here along the beach in Pattaya as well as in JOMTIEN? The great thing about this, and I am quite certain they didn't design it this way, but they just lucked out, is from the first floor, you can look straight out onto the beach. From the second floor, you can look straight out. There's no trees in the way. But the neat thing is that there are trees to the north, and there are trees to the south. So there's shade as well. And, of course, they have the infamous beach chairs that, of course, most of you will know. That was the cough button, by the way. And I just... so I could either do... or I can do this. Pretty technical, right? I know. I mean, it's the electrical engineering degree that I sport. But Joe, my buddy Joe from Florida says that emotionally and intelligence, he's 13 years old, which is awesome. He's a cool teenager. So relative to him, I'd be considered one of the big kids. Rick, thank you for coming by. Rick Smith comes by over on YouTube. Thank you, dude. Yeah, Ride for Kicks, and he says that Ride for Kicks channel is good. It is absolutely excellent. 75,000 subs, couldn't be wrong. And the other neat thing is obviously the relevance of his videos. He's getting, well north of 30,000 views on each video. And again, that's the reason I'm here. It's the reason I hope a bunch of you will be here for a couple hours, starting at 9 o'clock, down here at 1669 Restaurant, JOMTIEN, South Beach, right next to the big market. Viewer appreciation party, free coffee, free donuts. I'm Mike's from The Spot. We're at 95 FM on your radio, and we're also at thespot.fm. And then from there, you can download the app, and you can listen to us anywhere in the world. The other, if you guys are curious why I did this thing, why I did this radio thing, why I started doing that here, is to just give you kind of a summary. When I was a YouTuber, like some of you that are watching, actually, and certainly some of you that are going to be at the this listener appreciation party here for Ride for Kicks, here in probably, starting at 9 o'clock from 9 to 11 here in JOMTIEN Beach. So COVID happens, right? And Thailand shuts down. And so you can't go traveling anymore. And so many YouTubers started doing live streams. And so I started doing a live stream. And I'm like, wait a minute. This is like being on the radio with a This is like being on the radio, but putting the camera on my laptop. Oh my God, I can do this. This is fun. And Gracie was in the Philippines, and we weren't together for over a year, 368 days, but who was counting? But we weren't together. And so I'm like, well, I got to do something. I'm not just going to watch Netflix all day. And so I started going live, and I started a rock station in Bangkok called BKK.FM. And then I started talking to some radio buddies that I made down here in Pattaya. And so eventually it sort of morphed, and it turned into the Spot.fm, which was online. And interestingly enough, a question we would get from so many people, because they're like, wait, you have a radio station? Well, I want to advertise with you guys. We're like, okay, great, let's partner, let's do some stuff. The most common question was, yeah, but do you have a real radio station? And I'm like, well, right, no, we don't. We don't have an FM transmitter with a tower. We don't have an analog, antiquated broadcast medium that we're using. But at the end of the day, we were able to get a station in here in town, and we're just so graciously allowed to basically broadcast and have a ton of fun with it on 95 FM. And thank you so much to the NBTC, which of course is the Thai federal government, and they allow us to have some fun down here with the Spot. So it's pretty cool. Okay, so thank you. Joe says that he loves BKK.FM. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, it's a pretty cool rock station. And again, you can get it if you go to the Spot.fm or search the Spot.fm for that matter in the app stores. You should be able to download our app. And when you open the app, of course, the Spot starts playing. But there's a really simple, easy to find BKK.FM logo. It's the white one with the world and the headphones. You click on that, and then you're going to be going to be part of the rock of the earth, ladies and gentlemen. Rick says, you have such a cool gig there. I always wanted to be a DJ on a radio station. Well, Rick, you know, it's only a one-way flight over here, so you're not too far away. Feel free to swing by. And as you know, or if you don't know, actually the way that I'm broadcasting right now is a very high reliance on the internet to get this whole thing out there, and certainly on the YouTube channel that you're watching for you to be able to watch and listen. So with that said, if you have the internet somewhere, you too can be a DJ on the Spot. It's that easy, my friend. 14 of you watching, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I always get excited when the number goes over 10. I don't know why. It's just some degree of like litmus test. But then I also want to thank a lot of you guys for watching afterwards, because I know like if you're in Europe and that sort of thing, it's definitely a time zone time. Like, for example, Dennis, who's a really awesome regular viewer, he always gives me a hard time because he's like, you always do these darn broadcasts when it's convenient for you. It's the middle of the night for me or early in the morning for me or that sort of thing. But anyway, I do realize that it's about 10 minutes before 9 o'clock on the East Coast. Hey, what's going on, dude? Okay, we're already... So here's the interesting thing about white guys. We always seem to show up early to parties, especially when there's free coffee and there's free donuts. So the good news is the people are starting to come here. So hopefully, with Lucas and me doing our thing, we've been able to convince you guys that this is going to be a really fun time. So let me just sign off right now because the party's starting here, and I really want you guys to come here. I want you to come to 1669 Restaurant right next to the big market, JOMTIEN Big Market, right down here near Soy 16, JOMTIEN Beach. And with that, I'll sign off and say, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget, basically about a day and a half from now, on New Year's Eve day, December 31st, starting at 5:30 p.m. Bangkok time, me and my buddy Chris, we're going to be doing a 24-hour live stream. We're going to be celebrating New Year's Eve at midnight in every time zone as it goes around the world, and therefore we're going to be celebrating your New Year's Eve. And so we would absolutely adore it if you guys could come by. Mark says it's a great show. Thank you all so much. Joe says bye all. And if you guys were curious, Jason from Asia Unscripted, back in high school, he did a bit of DJing. It was fun. Yes, I would agree. It is absolutely an amazing thing to do. But, you know, I'm also kind of a ham, and I like the microphone, though. But with that, it's Mike's from LiveMyAssOff.com, but more importantly, the Spot.fm, saying, I hope you guys are living the dream, because if you're not living the dream, you're not doing it right. If you're not living the dream, you're doing it wrong, and you're not here at 1669 in JOMTIEN Beach for free coffee, free donuts. Thank you so much. Ride for Kicks.